All right, Bird Gang. I've seen all the comments. I've seen all the posts all over social media about how John Harbaugh would never in a million years come out to Arizona to be our head coach. Well, then, I guess we're just going to have to sell the hell out of our team to one of the best coaches available. In fact, the best coach available. All right. We're going to have to convince John Harbaugh, folks, as to why he should come here and finish off his career. Strap in, Bird Gang. I got a good one for y'all today. 100%. Welcome back to Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law, and I got you when it comes to Cardinals news, talk, rumors, and much more. Thank you to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. If you're already part of the squad, I appreciate you for running with us since day one. We're currently at 565 Bird Gang members. And if you're new here, smash the sub button. It really helps out the channel. And the more we grow, the better content we can bring you guys every single day. Huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for supporting the show and sponsoring the video. Bird Gang, let's get to it. All right, look, it's draft time. And I'm starting my prospect series here with players who may or may not have been mentioned as possibilities for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, again, some of these are going to involve trading down, which would actually help us with draft capital and everything. So this might be the move and everything. So a lot of these guys won't be first round picks, not for us, not for anybody else, but still guys that we should absolutely consider taking at some point in the draft, right? So there's one name that should be getting far more attention in Arizona, I think, and that is Mr. Jeremiah Love, the dynamic running back out of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Love's credentials are undeniable. He's just wrapped up a monster junior year, rushing for 1,372 yards, 18 scores, and 27 catches for 280 yards and 3 more scores. Numbers that made him one of college football's most productive playmakers this year. That performance also earned him the Doak Walker Award, given to the best running back in the nation, the first in Notre Dame history, right? This guy's an impact player. Let's be honest. Running backs aren't always first-round material, but Love is a rare exception. Across draft boards, everywhere, scouts project him as the clear number one running back in the class and a potential first-round pick. He's not just a volume runner. He's a complete back. He combines power between the tackles with breakaway speed and soft hands as a receiver. Those draft analysts, right, have compared his game to elite dual threat backs, praising his vision, his burst, and the speed once it hits that second level. The explosiveness is insane. That blend is so it's just gold in today's NFL. Let's talk fit, because he fits, right? We have plenty of offensive talents, from Trey McBride to Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., but the run game is like the true focal point, especially once James Conner went down. And remember, he went down with a nasty injury. He's on the wrong side of 30. Who knows what he's going to look like when he comes back? Trey Benson, knee injuries. Is he injury prone? Right? Is he even the guy? We still haven't seen what he can do, really. We have not had a good sample size of what Trey Benson can do. Right? We can put in Trey McBride, but Trey Benson, a back like Love, instantly gives us a go-to playmaker who can control the line of scrimmage, shorten drives, and keep the opposing pass rush honest, which we absolutely need. We suck at that, 100%. Right? Running games, they slow the game down for young quarterbacks. Right? They're safety valves along with the tight end, of course, but they stabilize these guys and open up entire offenses. Right? If we plan to draft or develop one of the quarterbacks, right, either later in this draft or even next year, pairing him with an elite runner like Love would be sound and practical and just smart, just straight up smart, right? Handing the ball to Love would also protect the Cardinals' offensive investments. He takes pressure off of blockers and quarterbacks alike, something that we have not had in a long time, right? To build a contender, right, you don't just need star power. You need balance, and Love brings that without requiring the franchise to reach at quarterback. We can draft one this year if we get Love, obviously, too. We draft one anyway, but either way, this would work a lot better in my mind. Versatility in the modern NFL is invaluable, right? Love's ability to beat you on the ground and in the passing game, he's a rare breed, guys, and a rare opportunity to get one of the best running backs and possibly not have to do it in the first round. Look, if we draft Love, right, we get a future offensive centerpiece who can contribute immediately, stabilize the offense, and make us way harder to game plan against. He's not just a running back. This kid is a weapon, a leader, and a playmaker. And that's exactly the kind of player you build an offense around. And it's honestly would help turn this franchise around. It wouldn't turn it around by itself, right? But it'd be a huge step towards it. All right. And you need somebody, a leader of men who can bring that out of players. Not just Jeremiah Love, not just, Kyler Murray, but the entire team. When the Arizona Cardinals were searching for a new head coach after Bruce Arians retired, following the 2018 season, we were looking for more than scheme. We were looking for a leader of men. One of the candidates we interviewed that was a fast-rising assistant out of New England, Brian Flores. Instead of going that route, we hired Steve Wilkes, a decision that bit us in the ass, lasted just one season, and sent the franchise into yet another reset. Flores, meanwhile, different path, one that makes him even more appealing now. He's already done the job. He became the head coach of the Miami Dolphins ahead of 2019 season. He lasted about 3 years there. He rebuilt a broken culture. He held players accountable, not just thirsty running backs. Johnny, I'm never ever letting that one go. And he won games with rosters that often lack star power. Yes, his tenure ended after 3 seasons, just like Johnny. Yes, his relationship with Tua Tagovailoa was rocky. Whose wasn't? But let's not lose the plot. He won in Miami, right, with that team. He demanded standards. He proved he could lead an entire organization. And those lessons, especially the ones that were learned the hard way, they helped a lot. Since leaving Miami, he didn't disappear. He didn't go sit somewhere. He didn't go coach college or high school. He spent the 2022 season as the linebackers coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers, learning under Mike Tomlin how to be a leader. He had already done it under Bill Belichick in New England. That's back to back. That's wild. Learning under one of the NFL's most stable organizations, he then took over as defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings in 23, and that's where his stock has just exploded again. Everyone wants to talk to Brian Flores, but they're not admitting it for some reason, right? When healthy, Minnesota fielded one of the better defensive units in the entire league this season. They're aggressive, they're relentless, right? That is Brian Flores football. This is where the Ducks connect. We're not devoid of talent. We are just lacking identity. Buda Baker, tone-setting Pro Bowler safety. Josh Sweat, proven pass rusher. Young corner and Will Johnson, first-round defensive lineman and Walter Nolan III. Cody Simon stepped up when Max Wilson Sr. got hurt. And that's a defense that just needs structure and pressure and clarity. And Flores brings all three. You can easily imagine this unit could look what they could look like in 2026 under his direction. Fast, physical, aggressive. 3 things we really want to see in our defense, 100%. Leadership is the biggest selling point because it's not just about defense. After years of instability, we need a coach who commands the room, sets a standard, doesn't flinch after losses, demands respect, and holds everybody, stars included, accountable. Brian Flores does that. This guy would not be a gimmick hire. He would not be a projection. He's not learning on the job. He's already been through the fire. He's ready to go. Back in 2019, Flores might have felt risky. In 2026, outside of the blacklisting that the NFL seems to be doing on him because of lawsuits and whatever else, he feels ready. We missed on him once. Let's not miss again. If we don't get John Harbaugh, in my mind, this guy's the next best hire. We have young defensive talent, a roster that needs toughness, and a fan base desperate for credibility and freaking wins. Brian Flores checks boxes that few candidates can. Sometimes the right coach isn't the new name. It isn't the big name. It's the right name at the right time. And for the Arizona Cardinals, Brian Flores might be that guy. It might be that time. It might be that time to get someone like him, right? And it is that time because the football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the great iron action. Playing on Underdog is super easy, guys. Just pick your favorite players, where they're going to go higher or lower on stats, whether it's touchdowns, passing yards, rushing yards, receptions, way more. There's a lot of options on there. Get them right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. With the playoffs just days away and a lot of marquee matchups coming up, it's all in your wheelhouse, baby, to win big with your entries to Underdog Fantasy. Playoff action kicks off this Saturday with some intriguing matchups, but I got one in particular with my eye today. Niners at Eagles. And for me, it's the battle of the running backs, right? 2 players who will find themselves in the Hall of Fame eventually after the careers wrap up. And they got prime matchups here to put together great games, especially in the playoffs. Both the Niners and Eagles run defense has been inconsistent and can absolutely be taken advantage of. And to think of these guys, and to think about these guys going to go off, I think they're going to go off in this one with defenses focusing on stopping the quarterbacks, which again, why you would try to scheme to stop Jalen Hurts, who doesn't really throw that often, who knows? But either way, give me CMC, Christian McCaffrey, to go higher than his 58.5 yards, and Barkley to go higher than his 79.5 yards rushing in this one. I think this game's going to be a grind-out, slobber knocker of a game, with one team trying to repeat as champs, and the other trying to help that bang bang Niner gang chant from becoming hilariously irrelevant. I'm just messing with y'all, man. I love Niner fans. They're wild. So, what you waiting for? Download the app today. Use promo code FOOTBALLFAN, all one word, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks. Get that money. Oh, that news that John Harbaugh was fired by the Baltimore Ravens was unbelievable given his resume and how long he's been there. The success that they've had. And the amount of respect a longtime coach has within the NFL, it just made the idea wild to me. Teams from all over the NFL have already reached out to the coach to gauge interest in coming to their teams. Hell, some of those teams, they have head coaches already. That should be enough to tell you just how sought after John Harbaugh is going to be the moment he decides to start taking meetings. There are currently 8 head coach openings in the NFL, including the Dolphins, who fired Mike McDaniel last night. Most of the pundits, the talking heads, and analysts have ranked us number 7 out of 8 jobs. Basically, we're like the 7th worst head coaching opening, which it's hard to disagree with them at this point, but I'm going to disagree with them anyway, right? Now, why are we ranked so low? It's really simple, really. Quarterback, right? Even with Johnny gone, clarity still doesn't exist around Kyler Murray, and that is absolutely an issue. Murray has never fully embraced the role of locker room CEO the way elite quarterbacks typically do. He freelances, he plays outside the structure, and hasn't consistently shown, the command that new coaching staffs usually want to build around, right? The way, the quarterbacks do, Josh Allen, even Jalen Hurts, friggin', Joe Burrow. And then the money complicates things because Kyler is guaranteed $36.8 million next season, and cutting him would trigger a nearly $55 million cap hit. Large, not impossible to work with in today's inflated salary cap era, but large, right? We don't want that. The bigger pressure point is March 15th when $20 million more becomes guaranteed in his contract if he's still on the roster. It's urgency time. We got to figure this out now. At just 28 years old, Murray can still draw interest on the trade market, especially if we're willing to absorb some money to make the deal work, and more than likely we would have to. And if we do move on, the transition wouldn't be as chaotic as it once seemed, because Jacoby Brissett's still under contract, right? He ran the offense more efficiently than Murray did in 25, even if the win-loss results didn't follow. Got to look at the roster, because the pieces are there. The balance is not. It really isn't, but the pieces are there. Offensively, the foundation of a strong passing attack exists. Trey McBride has emerged as the best tight end in football. Michael Wilson showed that he's a wide receiver 1 in this league. Paris Johnson Jr. looks every bit of a franchise left tackle, but not everything has hit the way we thought it would. Marvin Harrison Jr., admittedly, hasn't lived up to expectations, especially compared to classmates like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. First-round defensive lineman Walter Nolan III appeared in just 6 games before a season-ending knee injury, and then Josh Sweat and Zayvon Collins both delivered really good seasons. But beyond that, this roster still has glaring holes on both sides of the ball. Monty Ossenfort enters the offseason with about $20 million or so in projected cap space, and that's flexibility, but it's not dominance. We won't be a major free agent power broker whatsoever this offseason, especially with Murray's contract looming over every single decision. The draft, however, offers opportunity, right? We hold the number 3 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft and a full complement of selections, but that slot also brings pressure because if we want a quarterback, more than likely going to have to reach. Plain and simple, especially with 2 quarterback-needy teams ahead of us, right? It once looked like Arizona was building towards something under Gannon. Instead, injuries, Murray's health issues, all kinds of stuff, and 8 one-score losses caused everything to unravel and things to feel even heavier given that we play in the NFC West, which is home to 3 of the NFL's best teams. That reality magnifies every single mistake, every single evaluation, every half-assed measure that we did this season. We're not broken, but we're not fixed whatsoever. And until the quarterback question is clearly answered, that road back to relevance is going to be a long, winding, and unforgiving one. So here's a message to Michael Bidwell and Monty Ossenfort. Send me to sell the Arizona Cardinals to a man who could become a legend in the desert should he accept the challenge, which it would be. The challenge of coaching one of the worst franchises in NFL history. Now, how would I do it? Actually, you know what? Let's talk directly to Coach Harbaugh right here. Coach, you've done it all. You've won a Super Bowl. You've built multiple versions of a contender. You've coached through eras, quarterbacks, roster resets. At 63, you don't need another job. So if you're going to coach in 26, the question is, it isn't why keep going. It's where does it still make sense? Let me ask you something simple. Why not the Arizona Cardinals? Why not come to the desert and do something you haven't done yet? Build this definitive chapter of your legacy. This is a coach's roster. It's not a rebuild. Let's start with what matters most. Trenches in the defense. You've coached it all. You coached against TJ Watt. You coached Ray Lewis. You've coached Ed Reed. You coached the best of the best, and you coached against the best of the best. And in Arizona, you got Josh Sweat, a true edge presence you could build around immediately. You also inherit a roster that's ready for investment, not teardown, particularly on both lines. That's your DNA, sir. Physical, accountable, sustainable. This is a redirect, not a rebuild for you, okay? Quarterback, dude, you've done this before. People will ask about Kyler Murray. You coach Lamar Jackson. You understand mobile quarterbacks better than almost anyone in the league, in football, and anywhere in football. Kyler is a mini Lamar, quite literally. Explosive, dangerous, and still just 28 years old. If you decide to go another direction, great. You have the authority and the draft capital to do it your way. That is leverage. Tight ends win games, and you know that because you've coached one of the best ones to ever do it. Everywhere you've gone, you've had a tight end who mattered. Here, you walk in a Trey McBride, the most productive and reliable receiving tight end in football. These superstar tight ends in this league. That's a centerpiece you can work with. That's a quarterback's best friend. That is a Harbaugh offense waiting to happen. The draft capital is real. This isn't hypothetical. We hold the number 3 overall, number 34 overall, number 65 overall. You don't have to wait 2 years to help shape this team. You can do it in April, right? That's how programs change fast. Cap flexibility, not cap prison. We have roughly $21.3 million in cap space. That is not reckless money. That is useful money. Enough to, plug veteran holes, add leadership, support a rookie class, and you won't be boxed into it. Now, your staff is already half built. Let's talk about something no one else can offer you. Familiarity. Your former offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, is available. Your former staffman in Baltimore, including Chuck Pagano, available. You don't need to gamble on chemistry. You already know who to trust, who you trust more than that. That matters at this stage of your career. Right? Defense is personal for you, and Arizona fits that. Look, you're a former defensive back. You've always taken pride in the secondary. In Arizona, you inherit Budda Baker, a Pro Bowl and tone-setting safety. Jalen Thompson, one of the most underrated safeties in the game. Young corners like Will Johnson and Denzel Burke and Ketrell Clark, with Johnson and Burke, both ESPN All-Rookie Team selections. That is a defensive backfield you can mold immediately. Family matters. And this one's built in. Let's not pretend this doesn't matter, because it does. Arizona plays the Rams every single year. Your brother, Jim Harbaugh, coaches the LA Chargers. That's a family reunion every season. And on the Cardinals' dime. Glendale to Inglewood? Not far. Right? About 6 hours by car. Glendale, Arizona to Inglewood. Not Glendale, California, folks. All right? That's different. But if you're going to be there anyway, right? Why not? Go hang out with Jim on the day before the game. Whatever you got to do. Or, you have a family reunion right there, right? 45 minutes by jet from Phoenix to Inglewood. Not hard. Family's nearby. You've coached Calais Campbell in Baltimore. He earned one of his Pro Bowls with you. He won the Art Rooney Award with you. That matters in this building because that respect carries weight. Let's be honest about lifestyle, coach. You spent 18 years in AFC North weather. It's cold, it's windy, it's snowy. Arizona gives you indoor stadium, indoor practice facility, climate-controlled everything, in a place you'd actually want to live in at 63, right? You've earned that. You like golf? We got it everywhere. Here's the real sell. If you win another Super Bowl in Baltimore, hey, you add to a great story. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you build a winner in Arizona, you change a franchise. You change a city and a state. You become the coach who took a team that's never had sustained credibility and give it an identity. Sir, that is legacy. So, coach, if you're coaching the 2026, if you want control, you want comfort, you want competition, and a chance to build something that is truly yours, why not the Arizona Cardinals? Because why not, people? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not us? Why not us? Honestly, why not us? Everyone's talking about, you never come here. And some of the comments I'm about to put up here are saying the exact same thing. But why not us? Why not? Someone answer that, please. Actually, don't answer. I already know what you're going to say. But I just truly believe that if someone's up to the challenge, it's going to be him. But we'll see. All right, comments time, folks. A lot of you guys love this part, so let's do it. Accelerator. I like that. Bro, Harbaugh is not coming to the Cards. He's not going to put up with Big Will Sheet. Yeah, bro. Look, I know you wanted to go to the Raiders. I don't think that's happening either. It's just everyone wants to play with them, work with Tom Brady. Not really, but and I get what you're saying. There's a again, we're the 7th ranked job out of 8 for many analysts. But I just think if he comes here, it's going to be because he accepts a challenge. He wants a challenge. He wants to create something here and do something no one has done before ever in the desert. So I get it. I get the sentiment. I get you definitely rooting against us getting him because you want to get him. Totally get it. Totally understand. Enjoy Matt Nagy. Just kidding. If Tom Brady's smart, he will stay away from Matt Nagy like crazy. All right. Bill says, remember when we thought Sean Payton was coming on board? That's a good point. A lot of people thought that. I didn't think so, but a lot of people thought that. You know what else? We also thought Peyton Manning was going to come here. Remember, way back, and they ended up in Denver. So, oh, okay, I need to get this the bigger one here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Oh, Felix, what's up, dude? Nice show, sir. However, the fans better expect our new head coach to look more like Vance Joseph than John Harbaugh. No real quality head coach wants his job. They know that working here is tantamount to a career suicide, so they avoid this job like the plague. They want nothing to do with Bidwell and Monty while his useless ass is here. They know the two of them are incompetent. You know what? I'm not going to argue with that, honestly, because it's not, you're not completely wrong. A lot of coaches are going to look at this job and be like, hell no, why would I do that? I don't think John Harbaugh is one of those guys. I think he knows he's already made it. He's already respected. It's not like he's coming here after, getting fired after, 4, 5, 6, straight losing seasons, right? He's coming here and he would already demand respect and get it, right? I don't think Michael Bidwell would I guess, treat him the way he treats other coaches. I really don't think he would. I think Michael Bidwell needs to, you can put Michael Bidwell's resume up against John Harbaugh's. Mike's going to have to shut up, straight up. Number 1 trash talker in the nation. I didn't see your rank, but all right. Oh, yes, blame the coach. Maybe blame your sorry ass organization. Well, I mean, I feel like our organization can spell ass pretty clearly, so. All right. But you're not wrong. It is the organization. It's not just the coach. I mean, it wasn't just the coach, mind you. It was everything. If the program if the marriage is not working, why are you staying in it? Right? Really, dude? Just spell ass, bro. I mean, I'm assuming you're a teenager or a child or something. No adult talks like that. If you're an adult and you say sorry, you're weird. Straight up. Just strange person. All right. Thanks for leaving a comment there. I appreciate it. All right, Instant Gator. Asking for a defensive head coach anybody asking for a defensive head coach is a moron. This team has been trash for years. When was the last time they made the playoffs? With an offensive head coach. When was the last time they actually did something in the playoffs? With an offensive head coach. Defensive head coaches are great for teams that have strong defenses and a history of having strong defenses. That's not the Cardinals. 2 of our last 3 head coaches were defensive head coaches, Steve Wilks and JG. One was out after a year, and the other finished with the worst record in modern team history. The NFL is an offensive-heavy league. Your head coach and your QB need to be on the same page. They need to connect. Past seasons prove what I'm saying. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think at this point we're just interviewing everybody. I don't know if anyone's really asking for any certain type of a head coach. But I would like to try it with an offensive head coach. You're right? And Joe Harbaugh coaches everything. He coaches offense, defense, specialty, everything. So he beat to me ideal. Now I am saying that Brian Flores would be the next best option in my mind, but you're not wrong. Like the last time we did anything in this league in the playoffs, especially, we were offensive head coach. So there you go. BA was there. Yeah, good point. No, you're not wrong, dude. I'm with you on that. All right, last comment. Let me pull this one out because I'm blind. I'm old. Whew. Okay, Mark. What's up, Mark? Thanks for beating the war drum hard in the last few weeks, reminding us why Gannon's tenure needed to end. God, I feel relieved that Gannon has been relieved of his head coach duties, and I will assume his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are gone as well, even though that has not formally happened yet. The way I described this to one of my friends was Jonathan Gannon was lice. I don't know if any of your kids had lice or you've ever had lice, but when lice is involved, it isn't just shave the head or wash the head or wash the clothes. You gotta disinfect the entire area, the entire house. That's what this was. We had to get rid of the lice. Sorry, Johnny. That's the best way I could put it, man. That was one of those things, dude. It was like I was wondering how I would go with that one. Did I put this one up yet? Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't put this one up yet. All right. Jay, what's up, Jay? This has to be the most painful season I have seen. It is back to square one, and the 79-year rebuild continues. I can see Murray staying put with a new coach who may be able to unlock his potential. I think Harbaugh would be the only guy. Honestly, I think that would be he'd be the only guy that I would trust to do that because he has actual experience. Oh, hold up, let me turn this other one off. There we go. No, it's a guy I can't spell. Ooh, okay, that's gonna do it, folks. All right, cool. That's not bad. All right, awesome comments. Appreciate you guys. Always leave a comment. You never know if I'm gonna pick yours to put on the show on the comment version or the comment show of the week. That is gonna do it for this episode of Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Don't forget to hit that sub, hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. I will see you guys all next week for more Cardinals football. Shout out to Underdog fans for sponsoring the video. Let's see what these playoff teams do this weekend, folks. It's gonna be some good football on television. All the best to you and your families and your friends. Enjoy your week and your weekend. Bird gang, I rock with y'all till the wheels fall off. Go Cardinals.